Welcome to 5 Star Weekly. Atlanta United returns this weekend, and we have confirmation of another new player. And we play round 3 of In the Club. All that and more coming up. Welcome to the show, 5 Star fam. I'm AJ, and this is Tanner and Marc. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. This segment is sponsored by Thinking Man Tavern, a cozy Decatur neighborhood pub. Grab a tasty beverage from a wide variety of selections and a plate of something delicious from the menu. To go, check out Thinking Man Tavern. Follow our Twitch for new streams and surprises on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting at 9 p.m. on twitch.tv/Atl Utd FanTV. So guys, let's get into the news, and first bit is that the reports from Paraguay and also Fox Sports Argentina are saying that Erik Lopez to Atlanta United is confirmed. And the transfer fee reportedly from Arturo Rubin is that it's $3.7 million. That it will be a 4-year contract and a 1-year team option for the 5th. And then it was signed on Tuesday of this week. We are filming this on a Wednesday, full transparency. And that's he would be in about 15 to 20 days going to Atlanta to pretty much, kind of finalize every part of the deal and make it official. And so, it's been not too long, really, since the past Friday that we've been hearing about this news, but it seems like, it's just been relentless. And that, is it going to be finished? Is it not going to be finished? Is he going to be able to play? Obviously, we know now, probably in that territory, if it's $3.7 million, he probably won't be playing, in MLS's back in terms of, well, not probably, but he definitely will not be playing in MLS's back because of not only TAM, but because of the schedule. And so, with all that said, we know he's an 18-year-old forward that he really was showing out with Olimpia, the Paraguayan side that he's from. He's also been part of the Albiroja, the U23s. And so he's been, just wowing heads, turning heads. And we know that he can play a little bit as a second forward and across maybe the wide forward roles as well. But are you guys happy that the deal seems like it's over the line, just needs a confirmation from the club?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. You needed, I think, to add in that department another forward. I don't think that J.J. Williams or Adam John are necessarily the answers, especially if you have Joseph Martinez out. You needed a better quality option for him because, honestly, he was playing a lot of soccer for Atlanta United already. So you needed someone that can step into that position. And after you use Tito Villalba, who's kind of the only other person that's used to playing through the middle, I think you needed to sign someone. But from everything I've read, it's also that he's not necessarily an out-and-out, forward, styled striker. But still, he's young and he fits the profile of the type of player that we want to sign in terms of young and up and coming. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm excited about it, that's for sure.
Yeah, Marc?
Yeah, I think the contract, if this is confirmed, then it's true. I think the contract is smart, especially for an 18-year-old. There's not too much pressure for him to contribute right away, whenever that is, But, it'll give him time to adjust to a new environment and then eventually find his feet with the team and the system, what have you. And so 2, 3, 4 years down the line, when he's looking to make that move, that'd be towards the end of his contract. At least that's what Atlanta United are hoping. But I think they're probably maybe have learned a little bit from the transfers of PT and Barco. First year tends to be an adjustment period. I think that's understood, especially for a kid that's 18. But I'm excited to see him. I said last week, especially with the transfer fee and all that, all the details of this deal, me positive feelings, and I hope that we won't see him in a tournament, but I hope that we can see him.
Yeah, in the regular season. If I think it cut off a little bit, but I assume that's what you said. But and hopefully he does play a part. And obviously it is one of those things where, like you were saying, great point of it is an adjustment period the first season, and boy, is it going to be an adjustment period. Not only is it going to be a different country, a different language, but during a pandemic, I mean, it's the odds are against him, but hopefully, in terms of that, he will be settling in quickly and sooner rather than later. But so there was a Darren Eels tweet this past week, and we all thought it was Erik Lopez. I mean, there are a lot of signs that pointed to it as well, but it was very, very quickly we realized that it was Tyler Wolff. It was the new homegrown player that we have, son of Josh Wolff, famed United States men's player. But Tyler Wolff, young kid. I mean, 17-year-old, essentially, it seems. I believe so, anyway, going off of memory here. But Carlos Bocanegra said that Tyler is a young attacking player who has shown a lot of potential, and we're excited that his development will continue at Atlanta United. Since joining the academy, he's shown the drive and determination to get that next level. We've been able to challenge Tyler in high-level academy matches, the USL environment, and first-team environment, and he's shown he's belonged at each level. On the field, he has quality and versatility to play anywhere across the front four, and we believe he has the capability to grow into a key contributor at the pro level. And he was definitely at the preseason as well for LA United, and so the eagle-eyed would have noticed that there was this academy player playing with the first team in a lot of those preseason matches, and he seemed to be faring decently. But now he will possibly play a part in Orlando in the MLS's back tournament as one of those forwards in that depth department at least. And if he plays any actual significant minutes, I mean, that's huge for a kid that I think most people they might not have even known that he was on the squad in a sense, and a guy that comes with a very storied family history as well. But what did you guys think of Tyler Wolff signing as a homegrown? We'll go with Marc first.
Yeah, well, this move was announced soon after Luis Fernando was waived, and so I think those moves are probably in conjunction. I think in the short term he is a depth signing, but he's like you mentioned, he's already had some experience with the first team. I think if you can fill in depth positions with young players here and there, it's worth it to do that. And also I think with this tournament, I mean, I don't know how the team is planning on approaching it, but I think a lot of players should play. May as well get a look. I don't know how seriously they plan on taking it. Obviously, there are some implications, but at the same time, nobody's going to be match fit, right? So I feel like, especially early on, you're probably going to see some squad usage, and so it's an opportunity. I think that it's smart overall, considering all the moves that got to that point. I'm curious to see what he can contribute as well, especially being a homegrown.
Mm-hmm. And homegrown loosely, obviously, because, well, I think, his father, I think they were not stationed, but they were, housed up in Ohio first. And then now his father, I believe, is part of the Austin FC setup. And there were, I think, fears that Tyler Wolff might hop over back to Texas to join his father, but I think maybe this had a part in play with the signing. But Tanner, yeah.
And if so, I mean, that's smart from Atlanta United, because if you really think that he's going to be the quality of player that you say you expect him to develop into, because that statement, that's high expectations right there. I mean, they're saying that we expect him to develop into a key player for us. Like, that's a lot. So if they believe that, and he's shown that he does belong at that level, and you see that potential, it's smart to lock him up to a contract. And I think Marc's right. You'll probably see him given a chance to play in Orlando, and I say why not give the youth a chance. And if you can develop those young players that can develop into key contributors, that's what we want Atlanta United to be, regardless of how that player gets here, because they didn't cost any money. So, and with homegrowns, those contracts work a whole lot different, and it saves you a lot if you have a really good young homegrown. So, yeah, I think nothing but good things. Hopefully, we'll see how he develops.
Yeah. So, moving on from that, there was that sending off for Atlanta United to the MLS's back tournament in Orlando. supporters socially distance around the Atlanta United training grounds and sent off the team with flares, with flags, with two poles rather, and the bus, they waved it goodbye, and it was great to see, support even during a time like this where, obviously things are very difficult and weird. But so they arrived in Orlando on Saturday and have been training since. Have been kind of staggering their training to kind of match the conditions and time of the kickoff on Saturday's match for New York Red Bulls for that opener. But in terms of Atlanta United and kind of what they're feeling down there, entering the bubble, you have some players and the coach saying some things about it, largely positive and largely saying that they're feeling safe and that the protocols are in place. But obviously, you've had some big shoes drop within the bubble. FC Dallas has had to be forced out of the tournament because of 10 positive COVID-19 cases within their squad, so an outbreak between players and staff, and so that really changes the whole dynamic. And so, fixtures have been pretty much either canceled or moved around, and also you have like Columbus Crew also having some cases. You also have just other teams. I think the more that these cases are positive, and the fact is, most of the quarantines have suggested 2 weeks, but most of these teams only get there now, many of the teams, less than a week. Toronto, I believe, even just arrived. So it's pretty, I think, on a just the last string, maybe one would say, maybe last 2 or 3 strings if we're going with like a guitar metaphor or something, where it's very, very tight margins now that, if there's a whole team infected from another team while they play another team even, like this, it's in jeopardy of maybe not happening. So, we all know Tanner's thoughts so far about the MLS is Back tournament, but, in light of all this stuff, FC Dallas having to bow out, another team having about 8 cases, I think, confirmed as well. What are you guys? What's your confidence in this? We'll start with Tanner first.
This tournament is just it hurts my brain. Like with the FC Dallas thing, you want these points to count for regular season matches, but they're having to pull out through, it's controversial because how mad can you really? Yes, you can be annoyed with them in some ways, but at the same time, you can't, because it's just how things are, especially in Florida. But I don't know if they called it in Florida. It's just, you keep having positive cases. If it keeps going, how many teams have to drop out? You can't fulfill fixtures. The tournament becomes even more of a farce. It means even less. And again, you want it to count for regular season points, but then there's no way that can happen. So, what's the point? What's the point now? It was like, do you want players to keep getting sick? Because more players are going to keep getting sick. It's just going to happen. I think this whole thing's a farce and it's stupid, and I wish they would just realize that, but I guess they have too much money invested in it for it to not happen.
Yeah, it seems like the broadcast deal is definitely something that, they're trying to bank on as revenue for this season, because otherwise, it's not going to be from gate. It's not going to be, from a lot of the other normal ways. I think they're still trying to sell merch, which is, interestingly enough, they started but they moved the location that Tanner used to work at the Atlantic Station. So, it's sorry, I didn't mean to out your situation there if you didn't want it out there, but
no, it's fine. I actually originally meant to tweet about it, and then I forgot, and I was like, oh, whoops, wait, too late.
We can cut this out if you want, but
no, I don't care.
Yeah, but
they moved. I haven't been there yet. Bigger store.
I
during
know.
this.
Whew.
Weird, huh?
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot. But anyway, so Mark, what are your thoughts so far on FC Dallas, the
Yeah.
teams, just the positive cases are racking up.
Right, with Dallas and Nashville in particular, there's a claim out there, I don't know how accurate it is, that Dallas and Nashville had a get-together before they arrived. So that may be that they, some people, that's the genesis of those cases. It goes back to something I've been saying all along. Like, you are depending on personal responsibility, person by person. Like, I see other people comparing MLS numbers to other numbers and to what other leagues have done. No other league, soccer league, aside from the NWSL, have tried to have all of their teams play and house in one location. All of these teams are in 2 hotels. You know what I mean? So, like, if one person, breaks the bubble or punctures the bubble or whatever, like, how quickly does that spread in a squad and then to other squads? And the other thing is, I'm not entirely sure if hotel staff are being tested. I mean, there was one claim a couple weeks ago that no, they weren't because they're unionized. And so those workers live in the Orlando area, are supposed to maybe out and about and then coming to work hotels. And, the original claim was that they just had to do self-temperature checks and answer a questionnaire. Like, if you're a low-wage worker and you can't afford to miss days, you might very well just not tell the truth.
Yeah.
Now, the ESPN article claims that about 90% of hotel staff are being tested, and the other 10% don't really interact with the players. But, like, it just goes to another example of the lack of transparency coming from the league. So, like, who do I trust? I'm certainly not giving MLS the benefit of the doubt on this one. Like, I just don't, like, based on recent history, right, with how MLS handled, like, threatening a lockout, how MLS handled the political thing with the fans last season. I mean, they eventually came around, but for a while, at odds with fans. And so, like, I personally don't see why I would give the league the benefit of the doubt. And I'm not. Like, I'm worried. At this point, like, most of these teams are there. They're going to go ahead with the tournament. I would not be surprised if more teams have to drop out. And I'm just so curious to see what happens. The team in the knockout stages has to drop out. Like, does a team just advance on the default? That would make the thing even more of a shambles.
Yeah.
I don't know. I understand why people are excited for MLS to come back. I understand why some people need MLS to come back. I completely understand that. But I think the first thing we need to acknowledge, more than anything else, that these are not ideal conditions for this tournament to happen. And just feels like once the tournament was announced, MLS was like, all right, pushing through, going ahead, head down. It just, I don't know. I'm worried.
Yeah. And the fact that they even acknowledged like 2 weeks was probably the better time to actually be able to do that, to quarantine before matches actually happen. But I think probably with the CBA signing, that's really, I think, what kind of threw it all off. And what they wanted isn't what happened, and so you'll see cases like this, and it is hanging on a string of if this happens or not. But as of right now, it's a go. So we will all operate as such as thinking it will, and if something happens, we'll of course correct. But moving on slightly from that is that Atlanta United. They had 2 players that tested positive for COVID, but both of them have recovered and have joined Atlanta United in Orlando. Initially, the second person didn't, I believe anyway, ride the bus to the airport to get down there, but I think he has since joined. They haven't announced who those players are. I think out of respect for the privacy of those players as well, we won't speculate because we still don't really know the really full extent of the damage that COVID-19 can do to the body, and so who knows? Who knows what could happen, in the future for these careers of these players? But so also moving on from that, so completely moving on. Jurgen Damm, last week of course, we found out that he was revealed as an Atlanta United player, and he's making his way to the United States now. Yeah, before he left, he made a very cheeky TikTok video acknowledging his pluses and his faults, but hilarious TikTok nonetheless, where he was saying, yeah, I'm going to bring my goals, I'm going to bring my pace, but I forgot to bring my crosses, which is something that he gets a lot of crap for. And yeah, I mean, that's the awareness, I mean, is beautiful. That, I think a lot of people are appreciating that, someone like him that's, maybe has a little bit of warts, but, can acknowledge that he has some things to work on. And so he's still relatively young. He's entering his prime pretty much, working with a Frank de Boer. Maybe he can iron out some of those kinks that are in his game. But, also, ESPN analyst Herculez Gomez, he said, quote, in an article, I've had conversations with Jurgen, I've had conversations with people around the situation, and it's a good fit on a lot of different levels, especially if you plan to use him as a wingback, which is very interesting. I think last week we were talking about him possibly, maybe playing that role, maybe even in a sense, possibly trying to replace the production of, say, a Julian Gressel. Frank de Boer even mentioned to the media that he's looking to Jurgen Damm to maybe be able to replicate what Gressel can do and did for Atlanta United. And, very interesting words, obviously, because Gressel, one of the best crossers in MLS, and definitely assist numbers to Jose Martinez. That relationship, Frank de Boer was wanting that relationship between Jose Martinez and Jurgen Damm to be, something like a Julian Gressel. So, what are your thoughts, guys, on that comparison? I mean, that's a pretty lofty one that isn't part of Jurgen Damm's game.
Yeah, I mean, it may not, definitely not the crossing, right? But, if in the Atlanta United setup, I think we all expect PD to be on the right. He wants to cut in. He's kind of like that inside forward. He wants to combine with players. And so you have the right wing back overlapping, then keeps the defense honest. And I think also he may not be the best crosser, but I think it's something you can work on. And like if he has time and space, able to put in a decent ball, And so I think that's actually a decent fit for him role.
Dinner.
Honestly, I'm just taking a wait and see approach. I mean, I feel like it's nothing but upside with him because honestly, I feel like there's been you hear more negatives than you hear positives just because that's just the nature of social media and sometimes. But the fact that he can laugh at his own flaws is great. But I think there's probably a slight chip on his shoulder, and he seems determined to want to prove what he can do. So I don't know how Frank de Boer plans on using him, but we'll see what he does. And he gives you another option and provides you depth at least. And if he can develop into a player that a lot of people think he can be, then that's really advantageous for Atlanta United to have even more depth going forward like that, because that's what you need to be a successful team.
Yeah. And, Jurgen Damm also kind of mentioned what he liked about Atlanta United and why he made the decision to come to MLS versus maybe some of the other whispers of maybe some European teams and maybe some other teams around Liga MX, but just in the area rather. But because I believe there's like a kind of gentleman's handshake, I think, between Liga MX clubs that they won't actually transfer players in between their clubs if someone's a free agent. So it's really interesting. But anyway, so Jurgen Damm, he said what he liked about Atlanta United. He said Atlanta is one of the top clubs in MLS with a great stadium, fans, and players. And then later on said MLS is on par with Liga MX. I mean, I think most MLS fans realize, we're not maybe quite on par with Liga MX, but I mean, that's big words from Jurgen Damm. I mean, quickly, what do you guys think of, those words?
I mean, the one thing I would say is Liga MX clubs still have a bigger budget. usually across the board. So they have a little more quality and depth. But I mean, you are seeing a lot of Mexican players moving north of the border. So I think MLS is getting there. It's not quite there in terms of quality, but it does seem to be a more widely viewed league around the world, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah, that seems like the reasoning why is, the eyeballs towards from teams in Europe and other places, they are more apt to watch an MLS versus the Liga MX that doesn't have that widespread, that kind of English kind of, it's spoken more in a lot of places. Even though Spanish, I think, is spoken in a lot of places, but I think it's broadcast, English-wise is more in some areas. But Tanner.
I think, the last bit I'll say on him is that you got to want a free transfer. So at the end of the day, the risk is pretty low as well. I mean, it's not like you paid a transfer fee of, $5 million or whatever for this guy. You got to want a free. So, that's nothing but upside, I think, for that. And also, I think it's good to have a Mexican player on the team as well, because clearly there's a market growing, and he's a good player, and it's just one more person to add to Atlanta United that just shows that, hey, we can go into any country in Latin America and pull a really good player out of there. And again, for Mexico, that's a big statement as well if he is a really good player. So I just think it shows that the club's really smart about where it's getting its players from, and it isn't just pinning them down at one place.
Yeah. All right, so moving on from that, Brooks Lennon, he was kind of asked about the MLS is Back tournament and everything. He said that there's been obviously a lot of hiccups since the team started to arrive in the bubble, but it's definitely difficult, challenging times, and we're hoping we can see it through to the end, which, I mean, they pretty much are at least focusing on the 3 games, at least, and, getting through that, and if there's anything more, then that's just kind of gravy. You also saw Barco talk about pretty much Joseph Martinez's injury and what they're kind of trying to do pretty much in the meantime during his rehab to try to cheer him up, keep his spirits high. And he said that he and Joseph, I have a very special relationship with Joseph. He also said that they play Call of Duty Warzone to help distract Joseph from rehab, and that's according to Felipe Cardenas. And I mean, Call of Duty Warzone, huge game right now, and I mean, I think you see a lot of these players like Fernando Mesa, like PT, like Barco. They're always constantly posting on their IG story when they beat a level and beat one of the missions, and it seems like it's a good connector for a lot of these players. So it's great to see that. I mean, that's going to be one of the things I think they're going to be doing in the MLS bubble for sure. But as Tanner has, he's left the stream. He's entered the stream again. But
Dog.
but and so obviously things to do in the bubble is a question, and we've seen the likes of some pool, some arcade games, some things like that. But I think the players, they have their little Pelican case of their PS4 or Xbox, and they will definitely be, I think, landing it up if you know what I'm talking about. But so anyway, moving on. So Joseph Martinez, speaking of him, he has been doing lunges, and man, you love to see that when it's really only been 4 months since he suffered the injury, and he's already putting weight on it and shifting weight. And I think some fans have even noted, like, man, I can't even do as many lunges as he was doing. So I mean, that's obviously very encouraging, but still, we do not expect him this season really at all. If he does come back, it is gravy. But and very quickly moving on from that, Matheus Rossetto, he also spoke to Doug Roberson of the AJC, and he was talking about his ambitions with Atlanta United. He said, "My goals are to win titles. I want to score goals. I'm looking forward to winning this tournament and looking forward to possibly winning the MLS title whenever the league starts back again." The man has his sights set high for sure, And I mean, he's a guy that during that preseason match, I mean, definitely I think has us excited because of not only his techers but his coolness in front of goal. What do you guys think of Rossetto's words here? We'll go with Tanner.
I just want to see him finally play. Yeah. Like, I just want to see him play in a situation that means something, because he had the whole visa issues that was holding him up at the beginning of the season as well. Like him and Castro, those are just two players that I want to see play. But yeah, Rossetto really showed something in that friendly against Birmingham, and I'm just excited to see what he can do and to have this attitude and want to win. I like it. So yeah, I'm excited.
Marc?
Yeah, I always like hearing midfielders talking about wanting to score goals. Maybe he'll be like our Frank Lampard.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, says the Chelsea fan. So I mean, yeah.
I mean, I'd take it.
Yeah, Lampard was prolific as a goal-scoring
scored
midfielder.
some goals.
So yeah, I don't dislike it. That's for sure. The only aspect is maybe the Chelsea bit, but I mean that's
It's Arsenal's goal-scoring midfielder, sir.
Yeah, exactly. I mean that's the issue at Arsenal, but. But back then, it was Ramsey, but we don't have him anymore. But anyway, so moving on from that, so MLS is back. Tournament will be having some kind of plaudits for the best performing players. So they will award Golden Boot, Player of the Tournament, Best 11, Young Player of the Tournament, Golden Glove awards for goalkeepers. Golden Boot winner gets a $10,000 contribution to a charity of his choice. And then there will also be fan voting for Goal of the Week, Save of the Week, and Goal of the Tournament. So that.
No.
We're gonna.
So basically, if we score a goal, we win.
And if it gets nominated, we win. Yeah. So it's one of those. MLS is gonna be real wise about if it's gonna be one of those or not. Like if it's part of the voting, woo, you best bet.
If we score a good goal, it's just like nice. It's just like, well, rip everyone else.
Exactly.
We already know what's happening here.
You know what we're gonna do. But
we'll win something this tournament, damn it.
Indeed. But so moving on from that, and Atlanta and soccer in general is to over to Newcastle, where our good friend Miggy cannot stop scoring still. He is the leading scorer for Newcastle United, his 8th goal for the club. I think we mentioned this last week, but yeah, I mean, we just had to mention it again. He just keeps scoring. But curiously enough, he hasn't started for 2 games in a row for Newcastle, and so very, very strange there that he's been scoring. But then they face a Man City, which you would assume that you would need the likes of Miguel Almiron, and he didn't play. So very strange. But thus is the case when you have Steve Bruce as your manager. So
to be fair, maybe he's picking and choosing, because at the end of the day, do you really think Miguel Almiron's going to make a difference for that Newcastle side against Man City? No. But in a game against a team where he needs Miguel Almiron to be fit, where they can pick up points, he needs him. So in a way, I can kind of understand why Steve Bruce is doing that, because with how hard Miguel Almiron works and with how quickly the games are being played, I think giving him time off is really, really smart, because that keeps him fresh and at his best. So maybe it's not the worst thing in the world, because I don't think even if he does play, Newcastle will have a chance of beating Man City. So
that's fair.
I understand.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Quick points. Alan St. Maximum also didn't play, and he's been one of their better players this season. So I do think it's a pick and choose type of thing. And then in terms of Miggy's last goal, it was a nice run from midfield where he arrived, at the right time. And I love seeing those kind of goals because it's instinctual, Miggy looks really settled, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a move in this transfer window.
Mm-hmm. Because yes, he has been linked to the likes of Atletico Madrid, and it is it's getting a little heavier in terms of those rumors as well. So a club that likes to play on the counter, likes to also be kind of a frustrating, pragmatic side. So Miggy that works really, really hard for the team, he would be a very good fit, I think, for the likes of Atletico. And so, it doesn't seem completely off base that that type of rumor does come about. And if he does get that type of move, and even just to consider it, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, it's going from, almost kind of mid-table to slash, relegation fodder to a Champions League side. I mean, that's a huge jump. So, that's a move I think is a no-brainer.
I want that to happen for him so bad. I want that to happen. If he moves to Atleti, I'm going to definitely get a Atletico jersey because I don't have one.
Oh,
And I get an Almiron Atletico Madrid jersey real quick. It's hard for me to get a Newcastle shirt. Like, I don't think I'd ever wear it. Would I wear an Atletico Madrid shirt? Yeah, probably would.
Yeah. And then plus, I think for Paraguayan fans, for Albiroja, it looks very, very similar to their actual kit as well. I mean, it's a probably match made in heaven a little bit to a degree. But yeah, Mark, did you have one last thought or?
I think to agree with you, I think Simeone would love Almiron, the type of player he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's, of course, Atleti's head coach or manager. But, so that does it for the news for this week. And pretty much for that, anyway, we also have some housekeeping to do. And so, yes, we have been on Twitch, and yes, now we, if you weren't on the stream on Tuesday, we will be streaming a watch party on Saturday for the New York Red Bull match against Atlanta United. And so, please join us there. We will be also doing fan cams after the match. And if you are interested in doing a fan cam, please let us know in any of our various social media that you are interested, and we will kind of push you forth in that direction. But also, though, that Tanner has been playing as Atlanta United in FIFA 20 career mode. And yeah, I mean, I missed that last stream a little bit. You won the League Cup, is what I heard. What else has been happening, Tanner?
Yeah, we beat old Tottenham because Tottenham are trash and can't win a trophy. So Atlanta United, the list of teams won some things, and Tottenham last won something meaningful. Love to see it. Beat Leicester City. We're into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, doing big things there. West Brom has finally started dropping points, even though they still don't concede any goals, which is just weird, but whatever, don't care. So we have the potential to go 7 points clear with our next league game. But before that, we have a big old FA Cup quarterfinal tie with Chelsea. Try and get to the semifinals, and that's what we'll start off with on Thursday. So tune in, 9 o'clock Eastern.
Indeed, and so he's also said that he's been undefeated against Premier League clubs, and so we'll continue to see if that happens.
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
Yeah.
We're going up. We'll see what we do, because we're going to be spending some money to get ready for the Premier League. I'll let y'all know that much.
Yeah. So yeah, he's been playing as Atlanta United in the EFL Championship, and so, he gets promoted, it will be very fun to see them in the Premier League. So, that does it for the news and the housekeeping, and moves us on to the Soccer Trivia Showdown edition of In the Club. So take it away, the Quizmaster, Tanner.
So, what it do? Round 3, it's 1-1. I got some footballers here and some number of clubs they've played for. You guys will be bidding for them to see how many you can name. First 1 to 5 wins. AJ won last week. So, AJ, you will get the first footballer of the night. And I have some interesting ones here because there's some overlap, and I like it. So, first one is Ashley Cole. He's played for 6 clubs. How many can you name?
I'll say 3.
3. Mark, can I get 4? Or do you want AJ to name 3?
The 3 he's going to name.
I can definitely name 4. Off the top. I knew 4 of them for sure. One of them surprised me.
Yeah, go for it, AJ.
Go for it? Oh, great. Okay. Easy peasy.
Wow, he knew! Wow, see, this is the game. This is the game being played.
Yep.
Let me hear him, AJ.
All right. Arsenal, Chelsea,
Yep.
LA Galaxy.
Yep. Also could have given me Crystal Palace, who Arsenal loaned him to, Roma, or his current club, Derby County.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot, I forgot he was there. I forgot he was still playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been doing some
He's
punishment.
the other person that plays his position is like 18 years old. There's like a 20-year difference between the two of them. It's crazy.
Literally taking somebody under your wing.
He's literally been playing longer professionally than this kid's been alive. Outrageous. So, point AJ. So, oh no, I clicked out of it. Next person. There's a bit of revenge on this one, by the way. But Mark, you'll be going. Mark. Kenwyne Jones has played for 11 clubs. How many can you name?
Holy shit.
3.
Is it 3?
He said 3. AJ?
Let's see. I think I'm cloudy on that 4, so go ahead.
And I hear 4. 3. So he wants you to name 3.
Republic, LA United, Stoke City.
Boom, boom, boom. 3. Boom. Well done, Mark. Also could have said W Connection, who he played for after Show Public, Southampton, Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland, Cardiff City, Bournemouth, Al Jazeera, and then Central FC.
Sunderland was the other one I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
I had Sunderland, but it was cloudy.
1-1. 1-1. All right.
The 10th so far. Ooh.
All right.
Here we go. Javier Chicharito Hernandez, AJ, has played for 7 clubs. How many can you name?
3.
3. Mark, can I hear 4? Can I hear 4, Mark?
No.
3. AJ, he wants you to name 3. I can name all 7. I'm embarrassed.
Well, I mean, because he was a Man U player, for one.
Yep.
Bayer Leverkusen,
Yes.
LA Galaxy.
Yeah. Who was the first one? You said Man United? Yeah, obviously. Yes. Bing, bing, bing. You could have named Chivas, which is where he started, Real Madrid, West Ham, and Sevilla as well.
I was not sure if he played for Madrid. Oh, I should have. Okay.
He did. We loaned him there for one season. It was really weird.
Yeah, he kind of played there. Not really, but he
2014,
kind of
15.
played.
He scored double-digit goals there for him that season, though, I think.
Okay. All right,
Anyway.
I realized he did.
So, 2-1 to AJ. Mark. Thierry Henry's played for 5 clubs. How many can you name?
Oh. Oh no. I'm gonna have to name them. But it's 5 in total?
He's played for 5.
Yeah, you probably
Name
just have
4
to
of
name them. You can name 4 of them. Huh. I like that. I like that you did that. Huh.
4. AJ, can you name all 5?
All right. Yep.
All right, AJ. Thierry Henry, 5 clubs. Name them.
Arsenal, New York Red Bulls,
Yes.
Barcelona,
Yes.
Juve,
Yes.
Monaco.
Yes. All 5.
Well, Monaco.
Played, AJ. That is a decent showing right there. That is a very decent. All right, AJ. LGP has played for 8 clubs. How many can you name? 8 clubs.
Are you gonna be tricky about Inter Miami?
No, we'll say 7. We just won't count
Okay.
Miami. Outside, actually, we'll say 8. We both know that you know Inter Miami, so don't just say 1 because I'll hate you. So yes.
All right. I can name.
He hasn't. All right.
I can name 3.
3. Mark, can you name 4?
Sorry, just to be clear, we're including Inter.
Yes, you can say Inter, and Inter's one of the ones that you can say yes.
All right, so name 4.
I can name 5.
4. AJ, can you name 5?
I can name 5.
Ooh, AJ can name 5. Mark, can you name 6?
For it, AJ.
Okay.
5 from AJ. He's played for 8.
Yep. Atlanta United.
Okay.
Cholos.
Yes.
He's also played for Arsenal, but the Argentine version.
Yes. Yes.
Estudiantes.
Yes.
And then 5th one, right?
And then Inter Miami.
Inter Miami, yeah. I mean, I could say other stuff too. I could play River
Dude,
Plate.
all right, tell me one more. River Plate. Bam. There he goes. So AJ could name 6. Can you name the other 2 just out of curiosity, AJ? Because one of them surprised me.
The other 2 are cloudy, I think. So give them to me.
Yeah, he had a loan in Ghent over in Belgium, which surprised me. And then a club called Tigre, but I don't know what that is. It's not Tigres, but it's like Tigre. Yeah. So boom, another point to AJ. Is that what, 3-1 now?
4-1.
I think it might be 4. Yeah.
Is it 4-1?
He stole one from me.
Yeah, Thierry Henry. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious because this next one has fallen to you, Mark, and this will see if you can flex your muscle here. Frank Lampard's played for 5 clubs. How many can you name? Because I have a feeling AJ can name a few of these as well. So.
Oh. Okay. Is that gonna? Because we know one of them. Is that gonna be 2 separate clubs?
What do you mean?
Okay, I'll just. I guess I'll. Yeah, probably.
If separate clubs, yeah. If it's different clubs in different leagues, they're different.
Okay, that's the clarification. You said 5.
Yes, he's played for 5 teams.
Can name 4.
4. AJ, can you name 4? Can you name all 5?
Go for it, Mark.
West Ham, Chelsea, Man City, NYCFC.
Yes, and yes. You could have also said Swansea. That was the one that I figured. I wasn't sure either of you would know.
No, yeah, that's
All righty then. Over to AJ. Michael Parkhurst just played for 5 clubs. How many can you name?
Can I pronounce the other one? Fuck no. So
You can give me your best effort.
Let's see. Let me see. I can name 3.
3. Mark, can you name 4 clubs that Michael Parkhurst has played for?
I'll go for it, AJ.
All right. This is a game, set, match. Sorry.
Wow, my man just called his shot, you know.
But it is. I'm gonna leave it up too with the Michael Jordan Okay.
The thing.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Atlanta United.
Yep.
New England Revolution.
Yep.
Columbus Crew.
Yep. Name the other ones because I know you can. Flex.
I know. I can't pronounce that other. I just can't. Like I can't.
Do you know what it starts with?
I think it's an A, right? Isn't it?
One of them is, yes. One of them is actually easy to pronounce, and one of them is not easy to pronounce. But the other 2 are Augsburg and Nordjylland, which is the team in I think Denmark.
Oh, I forgot about that team. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So is that 5-1 AJ?
That's 5.
5-2? 5-2? Oof, man. That's a strong showing. Strong showing, but 5-2 to AJ. Now 2-1 up.
Bosh.
And he clinched next week. My man's feeling good. He called his shots as well. Well played.
Yeah, well played by Mark, though. He knew the ones he knew. That's for sure. But yeah, I think
that Thierry Henry one kind of swung it, but it's fair play to you. Fair play.
Appreciate it. But yeah, that does it for Into Club for the Soccer Trivia Showdown. And so pretty much the entire show except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, viewers, what do you think of the MLS is Back tournament? Should it happen? Should it not happen? Let us know in the comments below. We are very interested in seeing what you have to say. But anyway, that does it for the show then. And for Tanner and Mark, I'm AJ. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.